Hi, my name is Dan Carmody, and I'm the Executive Director of Tresolution. We're hosting the 2020 U.S. FinTech Symposium this September in Chicago. We're really thrilled to have Joel Telpner with us today. Joel is with Sullivan and Worcester, and the name of his presentation at the U.S. FinTech Symposium is Central Bank Digital Currency Development, Adoption, and Challenges. Thanks for joining us today, Joel. Can you tell us a little bit more about your presentation, please?
So various central banks around the world are experimenting right now with digital currencies. Some are just looking at it. Some are actually testing different applications. And there's some smaller countries that are actually going forward with projects. And so Bahamas is a country that's actually in the process of issuing a digital currency. The Marshall Islands, a tiny country, is in the process of also potentially issuing a digital currency. And one of the commonalities that both of those countries have are they're island nations where their population is dispersed among a number of small islands. And literally, a number of these islands don't have access to traditional banking, and there are boats that go back and forth from island to island, with boxes full of cash every day. And so if you can create a way to get currency digitally in the hands of your citizens, you've already managed to try to help people that don't have access to traditional banking all of a sudden get access to the type of financial services that you and I probably take for granted on a daily basis. And then even large countries like China they're fairly far along in potentially issuing their own currency on a digital basis through their central bank. And so what we're seeing, small and large countries globally looking at this, and over time, and we're not talking about the next year, but over a longer period of time, more and more, I think we're going to logically see currencies switching to this type of digital format as people realize that carrying cash around in your pocket really becomes unnecessary in the future.
So I can't wait to hear more about this at the U.S. FinTech Symposium. I know you have a wealth of knowledge that you'll be bringing to the table. Who do you think should be who should attend this event? Are there any titles, industries? Who should attend this event at the U.S. FinTech Symposium?
Well, so I think there are probably two very different categories, but both I think equally, that would benefit. One are the side of the folks that are developing all the new payment applications and technologies in the fintech space. Because when we talk about financial services in general, I'm sure as you know, it's a very antiquated and inefficient system. And so anybody that's looking at trying to reinvent or disintermediate the way we currently conduct financial transactions and are building the new technology tomorrow, I think would find this conference and this type of topic interesting. But then also people that are involved in financial systems, financial services generally, need to be aware of some of the fundamental changes that are coming.
Yeah, I agree. And really, that's one of the macro goals of the U.S. FinTech Symposium in general. I know that your session will address that, but it's how do you stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, exactly.
With these upcoming changes that will be coming down the pipeline soon. So Joel, we're thrilled that you're going to be speaking at the U.S. FinTech Symposium, but we're equally thrilled that you'll be attending. Are there any other sessions that you would like to see at the U.S. FinTech Symposium?
Yeah, I want to see all of them because they all sound great. So, so just a free marketing plug there for but no, they all sound great. But obviously, I think you've got one on payments and blockchain, which is near and dear to my heart. But there's also another session I think that involves data, and this is almost becoming a cliche already, but. In many ways, as people say that data is the new oil, they're not wrong. And when you start to look at data and blockchain technology, we're starting to see all kinds of interesting new ways for both good and bad that we can manage, dissect, utilize, and monetize data in ways that nobody had even dreamed about in the past. And so I think we're about to see a data revolution in part being driven by blockchain or distributed ledger technologies. So I'm looking forward to that one too.
I agree. I think data is key with all of this and access to it. So fantastic insights. So Joel, I know you're familiar with Chicago, so I'd love to ask you the final question, which is a lot of people are coming in from out of town to attend the U.S. FinTech Symposium. Are there any sites or attractions that you would recommend they see while they're in town?
Yeah, sure. I love that question. So one of the things that I love when I come to Chicago is the Field Museum, because I think it's literally one of the great museums of the world. But probably for me, what I love about Chicago is assuming I'm there on the one day of the year or 2 days of the year where the weather's decent. So I'm just giving you a tip there. But no, I think it's one of the most beautiful architecture cities in the United States. I'm a big architecture buff, and I love walking around and just looking at the architecture of Chicago. It is hard to beat. And then if you have time and you want to go a little bit outside of the center of the city, going to Oak Park and doing the Frank Lloyd Wright walking tour of a lot of his early homes, for me, is I can go there. I just love it.
Those are all great. Those are all great suggestions. And the U.S. FinTech Symposium is on a Monday and Tuesday. So if people wanted to fly in early during the weekend, they might have an opportunity to do some of those. So, well, Joel, thank you so much for your time and explaining a little bit more about your topic. Very much looking forward to it in September. Thanks for taking the time today to talk.
Thank you.